La 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 lattes were a la 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 lattes were a. Hi everybody. Hey Shaquilly. Oh wow, that's the first comment I see. Hit the like button when you come in, baby. Definitely drop those unicorns for your girl Tay, baby. Okay. You know how this already go. Hit that like button when you come in for sure. Hit that share to let them know Tay Tay is here. What is up? God is in control. You know, always. Anyway, definitely, indefinitely. Make sure you let the peoples know that Tay is here and she got a couple of things to say. But anyway, we got to do that mental check. And let Tay know if you are 1, 2, or 3, baby, and we will drop those prayer hands for you. 1 mean you good, 2 in between, 3 mean you on some F all this ish. Hey, honey. Hey, Dreamy. I'm trying to set my stuff up while I'm talking to y'all. I don't know how you late to your job and your job is your home. I don't get it, y'all. But I see them ones. Hey, Karen Young. Hey, honey, 5K gangster. I don't know if I said, hey, Dreamy girl. Hey, Jackie. Listen, the people is in the building, baby. Hey, Earlene. Hey, Cree. How you doing this morning, beautiful? I just was going back to catch your replay from yesterday because I had fell asleep. But I am definitely tapped in and was picking up what you was putting down. Hey, Gigi. Good morning, beautiful. How are you doing? Hopefully everything is well. Listen, if nobody told you that they love you today, you know Tay Tay definitely do. And if we woke up this morning, let anything be an extra to you. Let me get a couple of people up in here and then I'm going to get the show started. Give me 1 second while I get my laptop because I'm trying to monetize my live at the same time because I realized I didn't do it before I actually hit the go live button. Give me a second. I see them ones though. That's what I like to see. Karen says she a 2, but hopefully we could pull her to a 1 before this live is over, baby. You know, Tay Tay is all about the good energy. Hey, Betty Davis. And listen, if y'all have not had y'all water today, definitely make sure you get some water, you guys. Definitely get y'all water in. Tay Tay got her water sitting next to her friend. I'm doing what it is that I got to do. And I appreciate all of you that definitely tap in and make sure Tay Tay be drinking her water, friend. But we gonna have a conversation. I'm pretty sure y'all seen the title on my thumbnail, and I'm pretty sure y'all seen the 2 characters as well. But for me, it seemed like there's a lot of controversy. And of course, with a situation like this, it's very serious. So of course you would expect for people to feel differently within the factors of the situation, baby, because everybody is not going to feel the same. And you definitely have to understand that. You cannot force your feelings or your opinion on another person. It's up to them to either display their feelings or take in yours. If they still choose not to agree, you can't be mad, baby. But this situation between Romeca and Holly has really got the world turned up. Really got the world turned up. It got family members turning against family members. It got friends turning against friends. It got people feeling like they have to pick a side. And that's what it is that I want to conversate about this morning. What up, Queens? Step in the fucking building. Getting money is what we do. What we doing, boo? Nah, but yeah, it is really making and causing a separation between people because if you don't feel that let me say it the right way. If people don't feel that you support the fact is that Holly was in self-defense or the fact is that Romeca should receive justice, because right or wrong, you still want a person to get their just us. It doesn't make sense, regardless to what the situation is. It still has to be justice in the end, right? But with this situation, like I said, it's causing a flicker in oh, it's not even within a small patch of people. This situation has went worldwide. Why? Because we all witnessed a young Black girl be unalive in broad daylight. So a lot of the times it doesn't matter what the situation is attached, or what the reason was, or what can be given for a reason for that. The only thing that people know that they seen is a young Black girl being unalive, laying in her own, whatever. But I can't say that on YouTube. But the fact is that you don't really have to pick a side. There's no side to pick. You want what's just for either person. And what I say when I say that is because, all right, please, nobody take no feeling towards what it is that I'm going to say. I'm just trying to do what it is that I do best, baby. And I only know how to be real. I'm not a yes man. I'm not a pick me, and I'm not a follower. I have my own opinion, and hopefully it is respected. That's all I'm saying. Hey, Healing Hearts, welcome in the building. Let me take a sip of water. Feeling kind of parched. Okay, we're going to start off with Holly, right? All right. With Holly, it's the scenarios. People are trying to figure out what happened and which way did things go to where this girl felt that she had the need, or felt the need, to pull out her pow pow and unalive somebody, baby. What reason could a person have to go or be that dramatic in a situation? Right? So people are trying to figure out, oh no, well, fuck that. And the fact is of that, it has to be something more than what's being said, because there should be no reason why we should have to see a young Black girl be unalive, baby. But in the situation, all people really want is the truth. And that's what's supposed to be just due. Now, in the case of the scenarios with Holly, it seems that people feel like she had a reason to be out for Meeks. Okay. Now, I'm not throwing that narrative out. Okay. But then when it comes to Romeca, the people that is on the factors of defense, because some people actually feel like I'm not fighting. And if it comes to the factors that I feel endangered, if even people feel that she wasn't endangered, they cannot be her within that moment. And remember, I'm being non-judgmental. I'm just putting things out there from what it is that I see, right? So if a person felt that they was in some or such danger where they had to be in defense, and that was the way that they chose to defend. And on the outskirts of that, a lot of people are finding it fact when it comes down to the self-defense, that if Romeca would have kept going, it wouldn't have never been an incident. Now, let me get into the factors of that, right? The factors of that. A person could have kept going. And if a person, even if they made the U-turn and they seen Carlos and they seen Holly, and it was what it was, they could have kept going. Now, a lot of people feel that a person hopped out the car with the initiative to fight, to have smoke. You understand? I'm being relatable and not judgmental. Remember that. Please, please, please. If a person would have kept going, it wouldn't have never been a situation in the first place, right? Now we're going to smooth it on over to Romeca, okay? Because a lot of people feel, regardless to what a person stopped for, what the case was, a person didn't have to do what it was that they chose to do within that moment. Nothing could have been as serious that a person should have felt the need to pull out their pow-pow and pow-pow somebody. And I believe a lot of it is due to the fact is that not only did we get to see her be laid out on the ground, we got to see the aftermath. We didn't get to see the beginning of that. And that's where the scenarios come in. Good morning, Brown Sugar. Big Fly, $3. How you doing, everybody? David Brown, Healing Hearts, Elizabeth. Right. So a lot of people feel that it was a overspill. Okay. At the end of the day, even if a person did decide to pull out their firearm and basically back a person up or back them off of them, they didn't have to go as far as they did. Far as the three, initial things that we know went in. I don't want to say the word, y'all know how YouTube be. Okay. I just hate the fact that people have turned this into a versus match. It's not a comparison. It shouldn't be when one person made a decision and another person is no longer here. And being that we was not there, we cannot actually say what took place. Everything is an assumption from that place. From where we sit, we only can try to put together what we see as pieces to try to figure out what could have happened that took things that far. But I'm going to tell you what happened that could have took things that far. The same shit that's going on right now when people saying that they trying to get justice for this case. It's the comparison that caused a conflict and a controversy. These two young ladies is in the biggest situation. One has lost their life, but still has a kid. One is waiting to the factors of being investigated. Whatever way the situation go, it's not a good situation. That is what it is that we know. But the controversy of who looked better, who was jealous of who wore what, who had what, why the fuck would that ever be what is important when somebody lost their life, baby? Now, I know we all watch maybe those criminal shows, 48 Hours, CSIs, and we may be internet detectives if that's what it is that you want to call us. But at the end of the day, you have to actually stick to the facts. And a lot of the things that's been said has been alleged. It's no fact in it. But for people to go to the very low extent to be able to figure out who was the prettiest, who wore the most expensive clothes, and who had the greatest luck. Now, I can understand. We see that there is a man in between this situation, friend. Now, what is beyond me, hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Tell me how y'all feel Tay is going this morning, baby. And I'm going to let y'all hit that like button. Okay? And then we going to get back into it. I'm going to let that like button boost up. Put it in a coma. That's what we like. And I definitely like opinions. So please engage. Remember, Tay is non-judgmental, baby. Either way, I want the truth out of the situation. And that's what it's supposed to be about. Not the factors of people gaining clout off of something that's trending. If you actually gaining clout off of something that's trending, at the end of the day, don't put your opinion in certain situations as you know what took place. Everything, like I said, is alleged. But for me to hear some of the shit that I've heard people say, oh, well, yeah, she was just mad because she was prettier than her. She looked better than her. She dressed better than her. Now, one thing that she got better than her right now is her motherfucking life. And we trying to find the truth to get justice in another person's life. So designer and looks, that is beneath or should be the smallest goddamn thing. Now, I'm not going to say jealousy don't coexist within the factors of situations, but when people are focused more on what people had versus what people no longer have, like this girl no longer has her life, then I think that we getting kind of off track, right? I mean, that's just my observation. And it's all type of allegations being thrown out there. Like people done wrote full-on movie scripts off of this situation. Sometimes things happen off of coincidence. You ever heard people say, damn, I was in the right place at the right time, or I was in the wrong place at the wrong time? It goes either way. Everything doesn't have to be a plan or planned out, baby, because in the situation, it's still two children. There's still two children, a baby that was in the back of a car and one that was in school. Let's just be real. Them kids or whoever was within that area right then and there, they heard them pow pow. Okay, so to come outside or be surrounded within the factors of the area, and it's possible, like, wait a minute, that's who that was that I heard. It goes and it gets deeper than this. But like I said, there's still two kids. And in the factors of there being two kids, some people may feel like, yeah, Holly still got her kid and she still got her life, but neither one of them kids' lives will never be the fucking same at all. At all. So when y'all thinking about shit that's small, think about the bigger picture. It's people that have actually separated and felt like they was forced to pick a side just because they have an opinion within the fact of this situation when possibly nobody could be right. Nobody could be right. I'm never putting myself in nobody's shoes because at that point in time, I don't know what it is that I would do. That's why they let you know from get-go when you have the power of life put into you. You only have control over you. Thank you, Miss White, for definitely putting that tip in tape jaw. Tape tip jaw. Teach and yell the truth because they don't hear. Yes, like Miss White is really crazy. And at the end of the day, there's babies. There's babies. This been going on for a month. Do you know how Romeca's baby could have been or is in the factors of being emotionally distraught? And because adults feel like other adults should be yes men due to the factors of people having their own opinion, it's just crazy to me. Because you can't put yourself in nobody else's shoes, baby. You only have control over yourself. People say that you can manipulate, gaslight, and do a lot of different things. That may be true, but a person still had the control within themselves to decide what it is that you wanted them to do. It still made them to make the decision to listen. Whatever the case may have been or whatever the case may be, Romeca's body has not even yet set in. And the allegations that I've heard behooves me. First of all, even if Holly is this sort out, how can I say, planned red rummer, you understand? Okay, because I don't know what point in the live I'm in, but y'all understand. I would hope that a person would not bring their baby to the scene if they planned on unaliving somebody, baby. So what was the baby? I'm just trying to figure out. Was the baby the factors of the out? I'm trying to actually look for the word. Was the baby the cover up? Was the baby supposed to be the reason why she wouldn't be there to do what it is that she did on that scene? You see what I mean? How easy it is to create a narrative? But you got to be careful where you put your voice because people's voices is very valuable out here. People really listen to what other people have to say. So you have to make sure that when you are speaking, you're speaking valuably. I hope I said that right. Right. Because somebody might be taking your words as fact. So you can't be sitting here creating scenarios and having people actually follow that. We don't know what took place. I'm going to say it again. But what we know it was life altering for everybody within the situation. My whole thing is, I don't give a fuck if Los was a hoe. I don't give a fuck about whether he was a hoe or not. Why is that important? Why who a nigga fucking got to do with the factors of anything within the factors of this situation? Why? Is it because it's between the factors of two baby mothers? Both of these ladies was putting their opinion on each other. Okay? It was no secret that they had beef. It's not like this just popped up out the blue, baby. And even though we could look at pictures, okay, and look at videos of the past, we really don't know the emotional state of those people in that situation. To be able to put nothing on nobody. We could sit here and say, oh, well, okay, I can understand that, Carlos was playing this one and Carlos was playing that one. Are you dumb? It's common fucking sense. Okay? We're not going to act like people don't like that bad boy mentality. And what I mean is a lit nigga that's in the street getting money. Let's look. Y'all see the pictures, right? I know niggas' eyes ain't broke. How is this nigga getting the hoes? Because he's getting the money. Nobody in this situation was hurt in no type of way when it came to financial aid. But that don't make them a fucking villain. That make him hood fucking famous. He famous for getting money and fucking bitches and possibly doing a little music on the side. And now, unfortunately, his baby mother has been unalive by his other baby mother. This is the type of shit I stay up and watch 48 hours for and go to the refrigerator and get a fucking snack. Because to be the person in the middle of that situation, do you know how much guilt comes with that? A lot of people say what a person could have stopped. But let's just place ourselves in situations where we was crashing the fuck out. Who was stopping us within that moment? You could grab somebody, you could do what it is that you choose to do, but that don't mean that a person still is not able to get loose. And because you only have control over you and not control over another person, even if you wouldn't want a person to hurt them to the full extent, what if in that moment you really couldn't fucking stop it? Like, people really gotta chill out. People really gotta chill out. This is not some shit that you just going to watch in the movies and it's fiction. This is people real lives. Okay? And if there's going to be justice for Romeca, at the end of the day, just the factors of a judge finding somebody guilty, that's the first behalf. But that don't give little Los his motherfucking mother back. It don't. Excuse my language, but for real. And people got too much emotions versus logic tied into the factors of this situation. Okay? And that's the reason why I was pissed off at Q. Because, see, you paint a narrative. When you paint a narrative, that means that you putting something out there for people to go off of. Okay? And even if somebody's sending you or relaying message, it's still hearsay. If you was not there, you really don't know what the fuck happened. But for you to come out here, okay, and stir up the fucking pot, because that's what a person did. And it took away from the factors of somebody that deserved justice actually getting justice. It didn't matter whether we seen Romeca angry. Shit, we all could get angry. Nigga, we all done been angry. So because we got to see a person angry in one of their most vulnerable moments, because let's be honest, when you going off or getting into it with your spouse, you don't give a fuck who is around. It doesn't matter. So because a person actually was vocal about how they felt, that makes them a person that should be guilty? No. That makes them human. Nigga, if a nigga cheating on me and he out in the street, nigga, yes. Why the fuck is you lying? Why the fuck is you lying? But because you get to see me, and like I said, my most vulnerable moments, that don't make me guilty of shit other than the fact is of being human. And it's disrespectful to the cause to make it seem that a person wasn't worthy on the other half of sharing memories with this same man. So nobody not gonna make me feel that they ain't never been cheated on. How do a nigga cheat on you? He go behind your back and he fuck another bitch. That is how it happens. Things is not done in a person's face, and that's why you will call a person a snake. But don't make it seem like we ain't never fucked with a nigga, or some people that you know haven't fucked with a nigga that don't know how to keep his dick dry. I can know that a guy got a female, but it's up to me to say, you know what? I ain't dealing with that dude until I know that it's actually no more of them. But who was in that room with them? How people know that he wasn't telling her that he wasn't no longer dealing with the factors of the other one? He don't know why she going crazy like this. There is a such thing as pillow talking. So you feeling like you creating your own little family with a man, and maybe the person that he was with in his past is causing a disturbance. You don't know what mind state people was in. Hey, Kim Reaction Show, baby. Hey, Sierra. Let me get in these comments and see what they saying, baby. Exactly. They hear me cursing. I'm not who I am. Right. Exactly. So when people get to see people be human, then now all of a sudden they have no. That's not the way things go. Okay, these both of these ladies is very beautiful ladies. Okay? And they both was able to dress their ass off, if that's what it is that you want to say. That's why Romeca was reacting out saying Carlos was lying. Right. He was denying being with Holly while trying to get back at her. Let's talk about it. Sometimes, most times in situations, we not gonna act like niggas don't want to have their cakes and eat it too. And both of them women was beautiful. And 9 times out of 10, they was both on their shit. And what they thought that they was doing was defending their honor in a situation that they thought they had. Whatever it may have been. Thank you, Miss Joanne. I appreciate you for putting that tip in Tay's jaw. Let's talk about it. If I'm laying up, nigga, he was rubbing feet. They was on Trent. There was things that was happening. He was doing the same thing with both women. What did we see that was different that we could say, oh, he didn't love this person? If we don't know what the fuck, what? Especially when you can't say what another person's love is. Like they say, Romeca wasn't with the cheating. On the other end, they said Holly was into having fun. She liked to have threesomes. What the fuck? We in 2025. People act like now people don't be on that shit where they a hump a nigga or hump a bitch. And at the end of the day, they comfortable with it. I may dibble, I may dabble. That's what it says. But that doesn't mean that I am a monster because I like a little coochie and a little pee-pee. But I'm going to find somebody that enjoys being with me. And maybe Carlos enjoyed those same things with Holly because he didn't have to cheat. He got to be free. And that's where the enjoyment came in, baby. But with Romeca, she wasn't with that shit and she was standing on it. You not gonna fuck with me and be fucking with no other bitches, period, baby. That's on that. And we just have to be realistic. So to be comparing is kind of crazy. You understand? And shout out to Upper for going to the crime scene too. Respect is definitely due. Because see, it's one thing to see things through your phone, but it's different to see things in person. It gives you a better feel of the situation and how close people could have been and what would have been or could have been the distance. Do you understand? So I'm definitely happy that she took the time to get boots on the ground to actually go and see the crime scene for herself and didn't go off of what anybody told her. Do you understand what I mean? Because being that none of us was at that crime scene, which is crazy because they only put the aftermath out, baby. We only can speculate what took place on that day. That's all I'm going to say. But the separation that is causing in between people is crazy. I hope y'all hitting that like button. Okay. I hope y'all hitting that share. I hope y'all dropping in the comments to let me know what your mental status is while you are here. And I hope that you are definitely drinking your water. Let me see what the people say in the comments, baby. The separation for me is crazy. Like, she's supporting Holly. She not for Romeca. It's justice for Romeca all the way around. But what should be wanted more than anything is the truth. And that's what it all is and what it boiled down to. Until we actually get the truth, we will not know the truth. And as much as we would love to believe the scenarios that we are coming up with as truth, baby, it doesn't make it that. And I believe that's the reason why a lot of people are mad at Keys. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with having your opinion. But when you got people thinking that certain things is fact, baby, and I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way. It's definitely respect all day. But when you got people hanging on your every word as what you saying is law, you got to be careful what you put out into the air. Because people are actually listening to what you're saying, and you got to remember they taking it as fact because you're saying that you are out for the truth. So you only can put things out that you know is true. Once you start creating different scenarios, then that makes people start to rile up and go off of the wrong things. Because if it's not fact, then it's definitely your opinion. And when people are not taking your opinion as an opinion and they taking your opinion as fact, you definitely have to be careful with that because you sitting behind the camera, right? And you're giving your opinion. These people are still out in the real world living their lives or happen to still live their lives. So it might not only cause beef on social media, things actually get heated in the streets. And we already seen what happens when things get heated in the street. It don't turn out good. It's a goddamn tragedy. So if you know that people respect your voice, then make sure that the facts that you put out with your voice is actually the facts and not something that's creating a narrative or stirring up pots that makes it seem like a person is clickbaiting. Because if you really don't know what the hell went on, you wouldn't still be doing the show with the factors of trying to figure out. We would already have the information to make sure that Romeca gets her justice. And if none of us have the facts on being able to get her that, then speculating and throwing out allegations is definitely unsafe. I'm asking people, and I've said this before, are you really willing to be unalive for this ish? There is a certain thing as having certain boundaries that you're not supposed to cross, baby. Entertainment is entertainment. But when entertainment turns tragic, it's no longer entertainment anymore. It becomes dangerous. I don't want to worry about what I ain't have to worry about yesterday, today, because of a situation that really don't have nothing to do with me, but I'm just in the factors of speaking my piece. One thing I said, and that is the truth, friend. You don't have control over nobody else but yourself. So you can definitely feel a way, but you always got to remember somebody can feel a way about what it is that you chose to say. And many of us may say, well, I don't give a fuck if you felt it, you felt it. But sometimes after you say what you say, people will make sure you feel it. So I just need people to definitely be careful out here and watch your words because none of us was actually there. It's a lot of emotions, it's a lot of division. I'm trying to figure out what is some people's purpose. Okay. I see a lot of pick a side. All right. I also see a lot of theories. But when you can't control people, you don't know why what was and what why is. Okay. We just need to know what the prior was so we can find out the truth. Especially when you don't state this, it's just my opinion and my personal belief. A lot of content creators are using wordplay and tricky words, yes, to make double-ended. Yes, none of us know. If we actually knew what the situation was and anybody actually had the proof, them same court documents, I don't give a fuck if a person paid for them. That mean that you got the information from the same people that would be doing the charging. They looked over that shit the same way we looked over it. The only thing that we are doing at this point is reacting to it. Nothing that we put to it after the fact is of what's on that paper is fact. That would be our opinion on that. And respect people's opinion. It's a bunch of grown people that think that they can stop or control what another person think. If I don't fucking agree with you, I don't agree with you. And you're not going to make me agree with you. And you may be even madder trying to get me to agree with you. Period. Hey, Quiet Storm. Hey, Sexy Red. Hey, Lachelle's. Hey, Brandy Davis. Hey, everybody coming in. If I missed you, please charge it to the game and not to my heart. You know, Tay was in the factors of going. Because I'm just trying to figure out, is it for the factors of justice or just stirring up more beef? Because then we're going to be having to get justice for more people because there is no peace. No justice, no peace. What the fuck? At the end of the day, none of us make the decision. But just make sure, for one, you respect other people's opinion, and make sure when you saying certain shit, you make sure that you tag on to the fact that it is your opinion, which is alleged. It is not accurate. It's not fact. We don't know it to be true. It is what it is that you think and what you are reacting to. Period, point blank. But some people really got to grow up because the shit that I done heard people put on people, even all three of the people in the situation, the shit I done heard people put on Romeca, the shit that I done heard people put on Holly, the shit that I done heard people put on Carlos is crazy. And then people out here spreading the narrative that this man may be gay. Even if it was, him being gay is not what took Romeca life. It's not like his gay lover popped out the motherfucking bushes and decided to say, hey, Don't expose my secret, baby. And why the fuck would anybody need to clear Carlos if he's not the one that pulled the trigger? So him being or talking to a transgender, that just distracts from the motherfucking conversation. And it builds up for more beef. Because, like I said, people is living in real life, baby. You got to be careful about what the fuck you say. And nobody is untouchable, baby. You might think that because you being a keyboard gangster that can't nobody get next to you, when I know for sure I'm one of those people that I will kindly say, bitch, I'm going to catch you in traffic. Everybody don't argue. Some people see you and then they saw you. And that's on period. Let me take a sip of my water, y'all. But all that shit is a whole bunch of distractions. Because regardless of whether they saying he was talking to a transgender, that didn't stop Romeca or Holly from fucking him at the time, friend. And if they saying that Romeca was on to a new relationship and doing what it is within her new situation, then at the day and after the fact is of that, then there shows some type of separation. And separations don't end good. I don't know how many separations do end good. Most people can't say that they walked away from a situation and it was just good, baby. Like, hey, people came to an agreement like, yeah, I don't want to fuck with you no more. You don't want to fuck with me? Okay, all right. Well, I'll see you later. It'd be a lot of things that come with the behind of people separated. And it don't always be the factors of that people left on good terms. Like, we got to be real here. An opinion is just an opinion. It does not make it facts. Right, Sexy Ray? An opinion simply means you have open eye on. Right. Tell them people in the back. Shout out to my people in the bushes too. I know y'all listening. Y'all got to remember, everybody that's in the bushes don't be here for the bad. They just feel a little bit more comfortable in there. And I just want to let y'all know I appreciate y'all being here. Just do Tay a favor and definitely hit that like button if you can. I would appreciate you for that, friend. And for all of those that is in the chat, I appreciate y'all for being here with me today, but I definitely had to bring some like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's the comparison. It's the factors of the theories, the no allegedly, the no, this is my opinions. People really out here making it seem like this shit was some real wrote out script in a movie screen. Like, yeah, even if so, you got to be careful what you say. You think any one of these, all right, that baby mother is still alive, but you think that baby life been the same since that day? I don't think, and I would hope, okay, that girl would not take her baby to the factors of if she planned on doing anything to somebody. We can't say what she was there for, especially with the factors of Los living on that block. People say when you have an order of protection and this, that, and the third, you know you ain't supposed to break certain people break the law all the fucking time. Baby mothers and baby fathers get order protections against each other in the afternoon and be fucking with each other at night, right up in the same crib. Talk about, yeah, baby, you gonna go take down them charges. Yeah, I was just mad because you know you ain't have to do all that. You went too far. Why people acting like things don't, like, this is real life. This is real life. How many times a female has had a person on papers, and when they go looking for the person, they find the person right in the female crib? So because a person put papers on another person, that don't mean they're gonna still exactly stick to the order that exists. A lot of Romeca pictures is right up against that same black gate that we see in a lot of her pictures, baby. In Holly pictures, we've seen. So it's not that people have not both been. We seen Romeca ring this man bell and say, I thought you said that you was out. I see your lights on. I bet you up there with a bitch right now. You just talked to me for 45 minutes. Did we not see these videos? What does he say to make people go to? What is a lot of things that people say, and I'm not even just talking about him, definitely and definitely, but clickbaiting on a person's situation where people are trying to find justice. That's not what it's supposed to be, because then you are leading people to believe the wrong thing. That means that people are watching your live because they feel that you have some information that's going to lead closer to the factors of a person receiving justice. And that's not the case. We all sitting in the same space. Us, the family, Holly, Carlos, even down to the factors, like I said, Romeca's son receiving justice, because the justice would be for him, but that doesn't give him back her. But all of us is sitting in the same space of waiting for the truth, waiting for the factors to see if there's actually going to be an arrest, baby. And even though, just like me, because I came, when you don't know something, you ask a question. And I was raised on the factors of no question is a dumb question. So I'm going to ask it. And being that I know everybody don't live where I live, I have to take into consideration some things may be different. So that's the purpose of asking. Okay, because in New York, you pow somebody, nigga, from the scene. If you go to jail, you're going to jail. So in other places, it may be different. Okay. Maybe they do release certain people until they find out more information or receive more things that they need to be able to hold a person, baby. But if you don't know, you don't know. You can't just go off of the factors of being free. This girl ain't outside going to the club. This girl, she can't even probably walk to the fucking grocery store. Her face is plastered all over the world for people to see. And it's not for a good thing, baby. So right now, even though a person is not in jail, they still on fucking punishment because you possibly living in fear. If she was living in fear before and niggas is calling her Holly scary, then what the fuck you think she living in now? Let's just be honest, okay? Carlos, his life has changed too. At the end of the day, you have to remember, no matter how we feel about people still doing what it is that they choose to do, you have to remember your emotions has nothing to do with being logical. And logically, none of us have the information that makes this girl guilty. And then people get mad. I'm just going to be honest. Why would people get a pew if they still chose to be out here fighting? I thought a pew was for the factors of protecting yourself, right? Now, people say, oh, you don't bring a pew to a street fight. But what if you're not a street fighter? What if that's not what it is that you choose to do? You can't force somebody to fight you. If you punch me in my face and I bust you upside your head with a stick, remember, we was fighting. You don't get to pick what I do to you, because once it comes to the point of a fight, the whole purpose is to hurt the other person. So when you in the midst of attempting to hurt another person, you gonna say, "Oh no, I'm gonna hurt you around a 1 or 2. I ain't gonna take it to a 3 or 4. Oh no, no, this is a 9 or a 10." I didn't know that there was levels to this shit because I'm always going to hurt a bitch before she hurt me. And that's on period, baby. We have to be responsible in reporting right propaganda, especially when your supporters believe in you. Let's say that shit again. Your voice is valuable. Okay? People believe you. So being that you know people believe you, you have to be careful what comes from you. It's reckless if you do theories, definitely, because it's not true and you have people thinking that that is fact, that that's possibly that thing, that's the way that things went, possibly just like that. What that person said is exactly what it is. And Miss White is definitely right. I've had people come in my chat and be like, well, Keys said, that's what Keys said. That's what he said. That does not make it the truth. The only thing we can go off is the proof. We know that that court document that a person went and got is true because that is proof. That's what you call a receipt. If it's not a receipt behind what you say, then it's only fiction, baby. That's all, and that's it. You can't have people going off of shit that you put together in your mind for how it could have been the crime. That don't mean that's it. The point, Tony said, the point is if she can't fight, why antagonize a person? Because people be social media thugs. We see this shit every day. People forget that they might actually bump into a person in person. I know people heard the term, bitch, I'ma see you. Like, I'm confused. I'm gonna talk my shit. Okay, regardless to whether who said it, what said it, can't nobody control what another person choose to do. We don't know why, the reason, or what for that Holly got online and said what it is that she said, far as the factors of antagonizing. But we see bitch ass niggas online every day that wouldn't say the same shit if you seen them in person, baby. I put my life on that. It's mad pussy people that's on social media behind these keyboards that if you seen them in person, trust niggas is not tough. He said, I said what I said and will continue. Right, you have the right to your opinion. I respect that. And that's what I'm telling people. Okay, at the end of the day, a person is entitled to say what they want to say. And people cannot get mad for that, baby. You have to still do your own research, regardless to whether a person said it. If you don't believe it, or you think that you still need to go look into it yourself. So if a person said what they said, I say that shit on my platform all the time. I say what I said and it said what it was. Period. But you can't blame another person for what you think. That is their opinion, baby. And before you fully go off of a person's opinion, you have to do your research to make sure that it's fact. I stand on that. I could come up here and put any theory together about the factors of what happened on that scene. Does that make it fact, baby? I could say Holly was jealous. I could say Romeca was jealous, but that does not give me what them police need for that young lady to get justice, baby. So right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you can't put your mouth on fact, anything after that is an opinion. And I stand on that. And a lot of people, in the factors of giving their opinion, they're not saying, this is my opinion. They're making it seem like what they're saying is factual. And if you don't have a receipt that shows that what you're saying is fact, baby, that's your opinion. That's it. Come on. Keys, you doing your shit. You doing your shit at the end of the day. So if you say what it is that you say what it is that you say. But like I say, people are in control of themselves. So if they choose to listen to what it is that you say and make it fact, baby, then that's not what's good. Because then people are tying things into this case. That's not what it is. They're tying in other people's feelings. Because if it's not fact, that's just what it is, a feeling. And we all got a feeling. And that's why I say at this point, people are being separated. Because it's supposed to be justice for Romeca. And it seems like people are being forced to pick a side. And if you don't pick that side, then that means that your opinion or what you feel about the situation is no good. No side of this situation is good at all. At all. No side of this situation is good at all from either prospect. I'm not going to say, why would the fuck Holly get online and say what she say? I'm not going to say, why would Romeca still continue to deal with this nigga knowing that he was fucking other bitch? We don't got the answers to none of that. And until the people come out with the answers that we need, everything outside of that is an opinion, baby. That's all and that's it. Everybody have the right to their opinion. We all have the right to defend ourselves. However, you cannot antagonize and start trouble. Walk around with a deadly weapon, use it, and then call it self-defense. When you do that, you go to jail. All right, I'ma just be honest. A person could antagonize the fuck out of me, but it's still my choice to react. It's still my choice to react. It's still my choice to react. Even if I react and said person winds up going to jail because they antagonized me, I still created the reaction, baby, for whatever reason it was. I made the reaction. So we would like to say what people shouldn't do, but being that we don't have control over said people, that means that we don't have control over said outcome. Now, we would like to be able to write the story the way that we choose for it to end, but it don't always end the way that we want it to end, friend. And sometimes, unfortunately, things end tragically. Her life wasn't deserved to be taken away. Nobody's life is deserved to be taken away. Nobody has the life nobody has the right for their life to be taken away. Why should that be put in somebody's hands? That's why I don't understand. Now, they give civilians the right to be able to have that power, though. If that's the case, only police should be the only people that carry that type of heavy artillery, if that's the case, because they give people a license to be able to make a decision. Because whether you shoot a person one time or three, you don't have the power to foresee whether that action is going to take a person's life, baby. Now remember, Tay is non-judgmental. I'm just thinking critical. I can shoot a person one time and that be the shot that ends it all. Didn't 50 Cent get shot 9 times and he lived? That's what I mean about the fact is that we don't have control of the end. We don't. But when we put that type of control in regular people's hands, it can end tragic. That is the case. If you read the Bible yourself, you might find your pastor doesn't know the word. I tell my people, don't take my word, check yourself. Right. You have to always do your research. I hate so and so said as people. I hate so and so said as people, Miss White. I totally agree with you saying. If I can't do or if I didn't do my own research and I'm going off of what another person said, that means that's what they said. I never actually did my own research to see if it was true. You know how many people is on this internet every day that get into an internet beef because somebody said something, and instead of a person going back and seeing if it was a fact, they chose to go off of that, which if they would have went and did their own research, it probably would have avoided a whole problem. And we not gonna act like people don't amp up fucking drama. Period. Girl, you seen what so-and-so posted today? I think she talking about you, bitch. So it's a lot of people that's also feeling guilty in the situation when it comes to situations like this, because you never know who else played a part in it that felt that they possibly could have stopped it if they actually just said a couple of words. She had no business shooting that girl. We can go in circles, but she was unarmed. Police can't shoot an unarmed person without backlash. In New York, they can't have a gun either, Tony. Nobody has the right to have a gun, but does that mean nobody has one? How many killings do you see take place in New York every day? And I don't think none of these people have a gun license. The only people here that's supposed to be able to take that approach is the ones that work for the popo. But that don't mean people don't make their own decisions, regardless to what law comes behind it. It's not right. Morally, we know what's not right. Emotionally, we know how we felt when we seen what the situation was. The overall outcome of the situation being that we don't have control over other people, we can't actually put ourselves in those shoes because people make decisions to do what they're not supposed to do all the time. What if the shoe was on the other foot and Holly was on the ground? Would people be saying the same thing about Romeca? Because you honestly don't need a weapon to take somebody out. Let's be honest. People don't kill motherfuckers with their bare hands. Yes, they do. And remember, I said I'm being non-judgmental. I'm just speaking from both aspects. And I can actually do that because when you do a story, you don't get involved in the controversy because once you get emotionally attached to a situation, then that takes you away from paying attention to the facts in the situation. And like I said, it's about what's right and what's wrong. And morally, sometimes people do what's right, and immorally, sometimes people do what's wrong. Right now, we being those that is actually here to receive justice for Romeca. She hear y'all loud and clear fighting for her. Because trust and believe, I want justice for her too. But you can't put yourself in other people's shoes. So my thing is, if Holly was on the ground and it wasn't Romeca, what would other people be saying? Would people be going and saying the same thing with the same stuff that we have seen? None of it makes it right. None of it makes it right. It said we the people will continue to be her voice. Justice for Romeca. That's right, Nina. That's right, Nina. 100. Eminem, I definitely believe that for the cops. Yeah. Let me go up here and see what you said. Thank you, Healing Hearts, for that sticker. I appreciate you, beautiful. Excuse me. It's also said if you are scary, you don't need to carry a pow pow. If you scary, most times that's when the fuck you gonna go get a pow pow. Cause if you scary, you already know that you can't back the shit up that you talk. But do that stop bitches from talking? No. We got crazy bitches on this goddamn internet that act out that same way every day. Every day. That doesn't make it right. But let's stick to the facts, baby. If we sticking to the facts, do pussy people talk shit every day? That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. And if a person know that they can't fight, the most people that can't fight would be the ones to go and get a pow pow quicker than anyone else. Cause they ain't trying to get their ass whooped. It's self-explanatory. If I'm scared, that's gonna be the first thing on my motherfucking agenda. Because I know I'm not willing to take no ass whooping. And even though people say, oh, well, if you don't want to get your ass whipped, then don't talk like it. If that's the case, a lot of these bitches on the internet would be quiet. Okay? Because the only thing that's tough on them is that keyboard, friend. A lot of people, once they come from behind these keyboards, they're not the same people in real life. Say somebody asks who was filming the whole thing. That is a question. Well, whoever was filming the whole thing, obviously it ain't been put out here, baby, because none of us have the whole footage. We only have the aftermath and the tape that this person say that they had. I don't even want to conversate about that because my thing is people, like I said, you cannot control them. They are going to do what it is that they choose to do. So that part is up in the air too. We don't even know if there was any footage that took place before. We just know what we seen after. But a lot of people feel just like the fact is of Holly didn't have to shoot her. Romeca didn't have to stop that car. Even if she seen Carlos, if she was in the process of trying to stay away from this man, as people say, right? She was trying, or she had her new man, she was moving on. So if that is the case, even if she did see Carlos and Harley, who would give a fuck? Why would I be giving them my attention if I don't give a fuck about either one? But sometimes people say maybe it could have been the possibility that she hadn't seen Holly after all the shit that she done popped on the internet. But Romeca still made the conscious decision to get up out of that car. Just like Holly made the conscious decision to shoot her. I'll just be happy when we get justice for Romeca, so it don't have to be no more theories and assumptions and opinions that's put into the story. That's not fact. That's not fact. Because if we all gonna be real adults, just like Holly didn't have to pull that gun, Romeca never had to stop. She got out on the factors of smoke. She wanted smoke. She didn't get out to say good morning. It wasn't a good morning type of morning. It was probably a good morning when she was in that school building and possibly even before she got in her car and made that U-turn and actually seen them together. But once she made that U-turn, if they did not block the road from that girl to keep going, if they did not follow that girl where she was going, then as an adult, we have to take and actually know she made the conscious decision to stop and get out that car. And when you make conscious decisions to do things, you have to remember, like I've been saying throughout this whole live, you don't have control over other people. So, okay, we could say, all right, well, even if Romeca hopped out the car and whooped her ass, Holly was supposed to take that ass whooping because she was talking shit. Nah, justice is justice. Everything else is theory. And even though we don't like the truth sometimes, I say it all the time. When you go to the doctor's office, and you tell him that you sick, or they find out that you have a sickness or something that you dealing with, when they give you that medication, do you think they giving you that medication because you like it, or because it's actually what it is that you need? And some people need to actually stick to the truth, baby. You cannot control people's actions. So once you act, you never know what can happen after. You always got to remember that. It's no more right to kill someone than to bear false witness. Sin is sin. Absolutely, Miss White. Absolutely. She didn't see Holly, didn't you hear? I've done my research on this. That's why I'm so invested until justice is served for Romeca and her family. I respect that, Tete. Tati, I'm sorry. I respect that. And I hope that's what everybody would want, regardless to what the situation was. I would hope that out of all of this, all people will want is justice. If you're not doing it for the factors of a person receiving justice, then all you are is a part of the controversy. That's all, and that's it. And different people serve different purposes. Do you understand? And everybody is not on the same type of timing. Some people are not there for the factors of the justice. Some people are on the factors of it being what's going on in the drama of the fact. But how could you put the drama before the justice? How do people put the drama before the justice? They done pried into everybody's life to see who was cheating on who was fucking who, and this, that, and the third. But ain't nobody pried in the way that has brought the truth forth, baby. So it's speculation, opinions. But at the end of all of it, I hope that the factors is for a person to receive justice. Whoever wouldn't want justice for this girl in this situation would just be heartless. I mean, just being honest. But that don't take away from the facts. And even though people would like to blank out the facts, that don't mean that the facts don't coexist. That both of these young ladies engaged with the factors of antagonizing each other. It was not a one-sided thing. It's not like we seen one person talking shit, but we didn't see the other person talking shit. We seen both people shit talking. But like I said, when you actually see people in person, you never know how shit can go. Period. That's like you writing, if that's the case, each one of us would actually write the way that we would leave here, leave this earth each and every day. If you're not committing suicide, excuse me, you have no control of your end. We never know how our end is to be written. And being that we can't write our own end, the way that we go out, it may not be within a good situation. And it's just obvious that this is not a good situation. Cree said, quick question. So are we going to look at every story going forward, not putting ourselves in people's shoes or not being able to express what we don't think we may or may not? That's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. But people don't know how to separate their emotions from their opinions sometimes. And once they see that a person didn't make the decision that they chose to make, they will be mad at another person because they can't change what a person thinks. Hell yeah. We're going to look at a story and we definitely going to give our opinion on it. And we would put ourselves in a person's shoes to say what we would have did given us being put within that situation. But even if we say what we would have done, the outcome still does not make what we feel fact. That's the only thing that we have to remember. Putting ourselves in a person's shoes and actually knowing the truth is two different things. And creating an action from what you saying you would do, we still have to always remember that might not be what another person may choose. I truly don't think we are going to have all the facts to any story. Only thing that give us the facts in the story is the receipts. And anything that don't come with receipts is an assumption, baby. Especially if we was not there. Although we would like to put ourselves there for the outcome to be what we thought it would be, but that does not mean that we are going off of the actual truth in the story. When this person said that this person had a GUN, and I'm just talking about from our other storyline, right? We seen receipts that proved that that person did not or was not speaking the truth. So that made it fact. But had we not seen the receipts, it would have just been an opinion. It would have been what we thought. It would have been what we chose to go off of. Regardless to whether it was right or wrong, it didn't make it fact. Now, once you have the fact in a situation, you can go off of that, but you still entitled to your feelings regardless to what. But the facts is still the facts. Cree, I think it's safe to do both, right? Mindful not to create theories that can create other situations. That's the part that I'm saying, Miss White. Because if you're not letting people know this is how I feel, or this is what I would have done within the situation, then that's something different. But if a person is thinking that your opinion is actually a fact, then that can be misleading. It can. No, I totally understand the theory part, but we are constantly listening to a person spew theories until he proves it's facts. Let me put that on the screen, Cree. Because until the facts come, it's all actually theory. That's what, see, Cree, you state it's your opinion, right? Some people don't do that. They actually go on their platform and be like, yeah, y'all, because this is this and this is that, this is this and this is that. And it don't be no facts behind it. But those people that's in that chat that's possibly listening to that person, that hang on that person that they listen to every word, may not choose to go do their research and may actually go off of what that person is saying off of, as a fact versus an opinion. Respectfully, Creed, I dead ass be in your chat, so I be hearing that. You understand? This is my opinion. Most of us put up the fair use, so that way we letting the people know before we even get started. The things that I'm showing and the things that I say is within the factors of my opinion, baby. That is all and that is it. But some people, they be acting like the shit that they saying is facted. We had receipts that prove that that Bree was a liar. Outside of the factors, if we didn't have the receipts that proved that Brianna was a liar, we would have just been going off of the factors of a feeling. We feel she lying. I think she lying. In my opinion, she is lying. But then once facts was able to come, that made it a receipt. We knew that that was then at that point fact, baby. Last night was crazy. Mahogany said, last night was crazy. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I haven't been able to believe a lot of the stuff that I've been hearing since the factors of this situation even happening. And it seemed like instead of getting closer to justice for Romeca, which should be the point in the situation, period, It seemed like people are going off of and putting in all type of distractions, and people are starting and spruing up battles that's just going to turn into more situations. Hey, White Chocolate. Hey, Teresa. Hey, everybody coming in. Definitely hit that like button for your girl Tay. Hit that share button to let them know I'm here. If you would like to support my platform, please do that with the Cash App, Super Chat, or Super Sticker, any of the sort. Okay. And while you here, let Tay Tay know whether your mental status is a 1, 2, or a 3. Because I definitely care, baby. And for those that didn't come in the beginning and probably came in during, if nobody told you that they love you today, Tay Tay definitely do. If you woke up this morning, let any and everything else be an extra to you. Because remember, somebody in the world ain't get that privilege, baby. I like to see people have a difference of opinion. You're supposed to not be a yes man in nobody's situation. And being a yes man means that you don't have your opinion. Just because the larger side may be going with one thing, I don't give a fuck if I would be the only person going in the other direction. If I don't feel something is right, that shit getting left. Okay? And if I feel like that shit is going left, Tay Tay is going right. I'm never just going to be a part of a situation because it seems to be the bigger of the situation. Like, oh, all of these people is feeling this way, so I'm going to feel that way. If I don't feel the same way, I'm sorry, but I'm going to express that. And hopefully people can respect other people for having a difference of opinion. It's supposed to be agree to disagree. And people don't like when you disagree with them, baby. And that's why I love the fact is that Cree said what she said, because a lot of people don't know how to separate the difference. If I'm tied into a situation too deep emotionally, it may blindside me not to be able to see certain things. Because if I'm already just in believance of things being one way, I might not be seeing the facts that can show me something different, baby. But that's why it's always good for people to go and do their own research, because you might see some shit that another person might not see. You might have seen or peeped something that another person didn't peep. You probably possibly have been in a similar situation, but that doesn't make it the same thing. That still does not make it the same thing at all. It don't. It don't. Hey, Freddie Miller, I'm sorry, baby. I was in the process of belching from my good old water. I hope y'all got some water. The dude with the dreads on the motorcycle finally went on the panel, but I forgot who channel it was on. I caught the end of it. It was on Amber channel. I seen some. I gotta watch the rest. OMG Tay, I was saying I did not believe a story. I got cursed out in the chat. It was wild. That's not cool. That's not cool. I don't want nobody that's around me to be a yes man in no situation. Don't agree with me just because you feel that it's in popular opinion to agree with me. And if I disagree, like, that's not good situation. That means you want to feel how you feel and be able to tell other people how they feel too. My coffee was made with water. Does that count? Listen, free. I'm cheating too. Behind the scenes, I got a coffee in the water. How about that? So Tay Tay got a 1 and 1. I'm enjoying both of them. Who say you can't live a little girl? Who says that? Nobody, baby. But yes, the guy was up on the panel. I seen some of that, but like I said, It shows how people is being forced to put a separate, or there is a separation coming between people because of what they think. Just because a person has an opinion, that don't make it fact. But you should still entitled to give a person that. Respect is respect. If I'm not disrespecting you because of your opinion, why would it be okay for you to disrespect me because of mine? Because it may not align with yours. People have discernment in different areas. What may concern me may not concern you. That doesn't make it right or wrong within that situation, because we two different people. And what I do is what I do, and what you do is what you do. And it's possible for people to disagree with others and still move on as an adult. That's like me taking somebody and me and somebody, we out shopping, right? And we go to a shoe store and they got a red shoe and a blue shoe. And my homegirl asked me, which shoe should she do? Now, in her mind, she already know that she want to do the blue shoe. But because I picked the red, now she on some. Well, why you ain't pick the blue shoe? What's wrong with the blue shoe? You asked me my opinion. I said I like the red shoe. Oh, I knew you would pick the red shoe. You just the type of person to pick the red shoe. Well, bitch, if you wanted me to pick the blue shoe, you should have just told me, hey, pick the blue shoe. I'm not about to argue with you because, in my opinion, I think that this is this. And because in your mind, you had already thought that was that. So, hello. I have a difference of opinion. And how you gonna be mad? If I'm respecting your opinion, why you can't respect mine? To agree is to disagree. Just to make you laugh, I lit the trees, LOL. It set off my alarm. Oh, healing hearts. I am weak. That's how you know that's some fire, baby. Listen, anybody, if you got your ashtray close next to your water bottle, you heard what Healing Heart said. Puff, puff, pass, baby. Puff, puff. Don't go setting off y'all smoke detectors, though. Yes, it's a lot of emotions in this. However, it seems like our opinions are being picked at. We came here to listen to a story and hopefully get some facts. If there's any, right, Quiet Storm? And that's why I say I'm non-judgmental, because people are going to feel different ways. You cannot do that to people, baby. That's like taking a person's rights away. Like, it's okay for you, but it's not. Why is it not okay for me? Hey, Lolita. You should be entitled to have your opinion, even if it's not the popular opinion. Everybody's opinion is not going to be popular, and that is okay. I like people that disagree. That I thought that makes for great conversation, because I can tell you the reason why I feel how I feel, and then you can explain why you feel how you feel. But that's a conversation, because I'm putting out my facts and you putting out your facts about why you feel the way that you feel. But even if at the end we still don't feel the same way, it's okay. I'm not gonna hate a motherfucker because they don't agree with me. That just shows me a person got their own mind and can think for themselves. And that's the problem. Too many people don't think for themselves. It's sad. If you don't go with the grain, then that automatically means you against the grain. Did you ever said I wanted to be a grain at all? You made me a grain. So now, because I'm not agreeing with the grain, now I'm going against the grain. I never knew I was supposed to be a grain. Sorry. Some people, right, white chocolate. Some people don't like to disagree because they be so afraid of what other people are going to think. I don't give a fuck. If something don't go with the factors of my belief, it's not of me. And I don't give a fuck what another person think. And I'm still going to state what I think respectfully. Respectfully. But to attack somebody because they don't think like you do, that's the most immature shit that ever existed. Hey, Miss Denise, that's immature. That's why I tell my kids, have a mind of your own. Don't be a fucking follower. I don't give a fuck if the crowd is saying yay. If you gotta be the only person to say nay, nay it the fuck out. Hit the nay. Don't ever just agree because you feel that it's going to cause a problem with somebody. Nah. No, no, no. That's not the way it's supposed to go. And it's just sad that it's a lot of adults like that. So because you don't eat pork and I eat pork and we have a difference of food choice, now you don't like me because I choose to eat a certain meat and you don't choose the same thing for whatever the reason may be. You may not eat pork because you know all of the shit that it exists. They eat their own shit. Period. It's waste. But just because I may like a pork chop here and there, don't hate me, bitch. Period. Wait, Cree, it's your birthday? It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, beautiful. I want to say happy birthday to you. Oh. Okay, I know. Keep my day job, y'all. Everybody say happy birthday to Cree in the chat, please. And thank you. See, upper display a perfect example of not just going off of what people say. She's seen the pictures online of the crime scene. She's seen all the videos that we seen. But for her to do her own research, she actually went to the scene. That's a difference. Shit, I don't know what's going on, or I'm not sure what it is that they say. So I'm going to definitely go and see by myself, baby. Some people agree because they want the blogger show them favor by shouting them out or make them feel special. A lot of people need emotional therapy. Agree, brown sugar. Agree 10 times. Times 10. Times 10, friend. I wish I could like that comment 100 times over again. Seriously. Because at the end of the day, that's a pick me. You want real supporters, baby. And when you got real supporters, those is supporters that don't want to see you fail. Okay, so sometimes they not going to agree with what it is that you putting down. That don't mean you don't listen to them. Because especially some people might want the best for you. They might notice some shit that you don't. Or disagreeing with the person and being afraid they might not shout you out. People need friends too bad. Hey, April. Hey, LaRonda. People be needing friends too bad. And being that people don't be having real friends, they don't know how to be real beings, which is sad. They'll be kissing some ass just to feel like they attached to something that really ain't shit. Because if you in a situation where you can't give your own opinion, that means that you don't really exist. Like what? Unstable and mental disorder. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like what? So you gonna a shout out ain't never been that serious, brown sugar. And I hope ain't no, please, if you support Tay, please be real with me. Do not be sitting in my chat thinking that if you have a difference of opinion, it's going to cut some flack. Nah, I like real people that have real conversation in their own frame of mind, in their own thoughts. I don't want people to just come here and have to go off of what it is that I think I'm going to say what it is that I think, give my opinion to whatever it is that we conversating about at that time. But it is possible to create a bigger calm. That's what engagement is. Sometimes you need the difference of opinion. I like to see sometimes what they call trolls. I call them conversational pieces. Because if a person not coming in being disrespectful, talking about your looks, your mama booty hole, and other things that we may not know, and they actually just coming in with a difference of opinion, I think that person deserves the right of conversation. And I think they also deserve the right to display how it is that they feel, because you hit it on the head. Everybody has their own frame of mind. Don't make your mind frame somebody else's. Be your own person out here in the street. Period. Even if people disagree. Nigga, I wear colorful braids. Another person may not be able to or won't do that. But because they won't do it and I will, does that make me a better person than them? No, that makes people fucking different. And when is it not okay to be different? I think different is intriguing. That shit is a turn on. Because sometimes people want to see something different. I don't want to see look in a crowd and fit in with everybody else. I want to stand out for myself. Like what? Mm-mm. Wait, I just seen Nisha comment. Where did it go? This thing be moving fast, y'all. So if I miss a comment sometimes, please don't blame it on me. It's not me. I swear. I swear. Hollywood have to live the rest of her life knowing she took Rose's life. And as she gets older, that judgment, God handle it. Right, Freddie? When people make decisions, you remember the person ultimately has to live with that decision. Healing Heart said, Tay, what is your email? It's lateworld@gmail.com. If y'all would like to support y'all girl Tay, you definitely see what my moderator said, baby. I definitely appreciate those that definitely have supported thus far. You know you got my heart near fall. Serious. I don't like that. I don't like that. People get jumped on just because they disagree. Bitch, I disagree. Now you don't like me. Now you don't want to see me in your chat like that. Now we got a silent beef that I might not even know about, baby, because I didn't go with what everybody else felt and I possibly went against that. But in my situation, I'm non-judgmental. Okay, I'm in the middle. And that's why I speak on it the way that I do, because I fully agree that it wasn't right for Romeca to be unalived. And I definitely want justice for her. Period. Period. But if I'm going to be real with myself, I'm going to be honest. And I said this in a chat the other day. Everybody not willing to fight, baby. And you can't control other people's actions, which means you can't control an outcome. We would like to say what is right and what is wrong and what a person shouldn't have done, but that's not what actually happened. And now the outcome is what the outcome is. And we just have to wait for the truth to come through so we could get the proper justice. And that's what it's supposed to be about. That's all and that's it. Well, personally, I'm not often nobody who doesn't appear to be a threat to my life. It seems crazy to me personally. If you can't fight, shut the fuck up. But he's popping shit knowing there's not. LaRon, the people that's coochie pop shit every day. We would like to say, if you can't fight, shut your fucking mouth, but we don't have the right to display that. And we can't have control over what somebody else wants to do. Just because you feel that you will fight, that will be you. Some people feel like they not fighting, and I'm still gonna talk shit. That's all and that's it. A person can say what the fuck they choose to say. Long as they don't physically put their hands on you, baby. That's it. Everybody is entitled to say what the fuck they choose to say. I could talk about a person all day in America. If that bitch decide that she want to fight, that's on her. That don't mean I made the same decision. And that's just honest shit. I mean, it's people on the internet, and I said it. It's people on here every day that pop shit and can't fight. Right? And that's because they don't feel that people gonna catch them in real life. But if you know that you scary, that mean that you would be more of a person that's going to carry. Let's think about this. If I'm scary, I'm definitely going to carry. We're only in control of ourselves. So because I chose to talk shit and I might be pussy, that gives you the right to whip my ass? I ain't let no bitch whip my ass. And I'm still gonna talk my shit. Run up on me if you want to. You don't have control of the outcome. You got control of you fighting me, but you don't have control of how I choose to defend myself. Once people get to the factors of a fight, the whole focus is to hurt the other person. The way that you win a fight is by whooping somebody's ass. Am I right or wrong? The way you win a fight is by whipping somebody's ass. Who these days is willing to take a loss is the question I'm asking. How many women is out here? How many people, fuck women, humans, how many humans is out here willing to take an ass whooping? That's why during fights, when people feel like somebody getting the betterment of them, they will go and pick up a fucking weapon, a stick, a chair, a bottle, whatever's close, to make sure that that person don't get the better of them. You can't say who gonna win when you fighting, because somebody is going to end up hurt. That's the purpose of the fight. This is not wrestling. You don't get to dictate the moves and practice them before you go into the ring. You don't get to say, well, listen, I'm gonna hurt you a little bit, but I ain't gonna hurt you a lot. You have to realize every time you make the decision to get physical with the person, the outcome can turn tragic. A person don't even have to have a weapon and can slam somebody on their fucking neck. And that can be the thing that takes somebody's life. And because that person had the upper hand in the fight, a person gonna say, oh, well, shit, they should have never slammed them on their neck. They should have just continued to punch them in the face. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. And people have to realize, right, Healing Hearts, your mouth is a weapon itself. The shit people say cut deep. And at the end of the day, if somebody tries to fight me, you can't tell me how I'm supposed to respond, baby. Hell no. You fucking run up on me, I'm going to make sure you regret it, bitch. That's it. And if I know I got beef with a person, I'm definitely going to be even more on that timing. And definitely. I'm going to be even more on that timing. I'm not going to feel that a person could whip my ass and I'm going to just go into the fight to get my ass whooped. No. Now, if I know a 304 is scary, I'm not even arguing with her. It's a waste of my time, period. I'm non-confrontational, so I usually analyze all my situations based off real life. Right. But we can base ourselves off of us we can't control people, so we can't base the situation off of them. There's a such thing as an asset and a liability. When two people are having a fight, it's only liabilities. People only got into the fight to hurt the other person. But who in the fight gets to pick the level of how the other person get hurt? That's not the way it works. So if somebody hit me and I bust that bitch in the head with a bottle, I was wrong. No, the fuck I wasn't. No, the fuck I wasn't. Because what if me letting that bitch bust me in my shit would have been the last hit? It only take a second. We can never predict the aftermath. A lot of us would like to, but because people know what's real, you got to be what's real. Nigga, people walk around with pokers every day. How many times have you heard a female say, shit, I got my poker in my bag. Let a person run up on me, it's gonna be chopped fucking suey. When you make or cause or put in an action, you gotta remember the other person always have the right to react. But what you don't have control over is how they choose to. And sometimes you may start a situation, but you may get either or most times the shit end of the stick just because you don't have control over another person. That's that. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just what's up. Fuck that. If I know a bitch is scary, I'm not even running up on her to fight. If I know I'm not even because that's a waste of time. Once you know somebody is scary and you still fuck with them, at that point in time, you become a bully. At that point in time, you become a bully. You just never know, right, Elizabeth, how situations can turn out. And if I know that a bitch could whip my ass and I see the bitch that could whip my ass, I know I'm going to have to do what it is that I have to do to make sure I'm not the person that leave here hurt. The fact that Romeca was where she was supposed to be, if that's the case, they were supposed to be where they were supposed to be too. Because Carlos lived right there. I don't know if people seem to forget that. It's not like they was off on a different block. It was still within the same radius of the same block. It's just unfortunate that he lives near the school. So regardless to whether she wanted to or didn't want to, she still had to pass this man's house on an everyday basis. But let's go back to the order of protection that Holly has. How many people that stick to that? They said that girl had them clothes on for 3 days. So that means she has spent the weekend at her baby's father's house with her baby. It's unfortunate the way things turned out, but anything else would have been a theory. Being at the right place at the right time, and it's a such thing as being at the wrong place at the wrong time. And some things can be considered as a coincidence. Yeah, but reactions have consequences. Everybody reactions have consequences. And as adults, we have to actually realize that. But you only have control over your reaction, though. You don't have control over another person's reaction. If I see a bitch that got beef with me and she hop out on the car, and I'm just being realistic in my hood, you think I'm gonna sit there and pop shit, or I'm just gonna know off grip it's on timing. And I'm not letting no bitch whip my ass. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. I tell people all the time, if you're not running up on me to give me groceries for my kids, then after that, you better pray, bitch, because I got to make sure I go back home to mine. And I'm going to make sure I make it home to mine every time. And it's just unfortunate if the other person get the shit into the stick. But somebody is going to always receive the shit end of the stick when people are fighting. We not salsa dancing. We not here to do the cha-cha fucking slide. We are here to fight. And when people fight, unfortunately, somebody ends up hurt, baby. Right? And if I gotta go against the order, somebody, why I go anywhere, they would be. Unless I'm looking for them just to react how I want to. I call straight bullshit. The hate Israel. Listen, we can say what we choose to say, but that dumb nigga, maybe she wanted to get some dick the weekend at her baby house and it rolled over to Monday. And just unfortunately, when this person was leaving and they was doing a transaction of what it was that they was doing, Romeca just so happened to be leaving the school within the same timing. And when she made the U-turn, when she seen her baby father, or seen him in Holly, due to the factors of how situations has already been, it was on site, friend. It don't have to be planned. It didn't have to be a plan. It could have been a coincidence. And that's the only thing I'm saying. Both people was provoking each other, if that was the case. Because both ladies was talking about each other. But people fail to realize real life is different than social media. Everybody is tough on social media. Everything outside of what's real life is a theory. And people forget that you may talk shit on social media, but when you see that person in real life, you don't have no control of what happens. You don't have no control over what happens. If me putting a thought, or even that would be a theory. It would be all right. Well, they was doing what they was doing. She was there for the weekend. At the end of the day, when they was leaving, that would be my theory. We never know what made Romeca stop. We never know what made Romeca get out the car. We never know what actually caused the confrontation. We don't even know the words that was said that went back and forth. The only thing that we see as an outcome, baby, is that unfortunately, a person is no longer here with us. They say it was a physical altercation. One young lady was trying to get to the other young lady while the baby father was trying to break up or keep one baby mother back. It's a lot of things that's being said that's not fact. And if we going off of something, we have to go off the factors of the facts. We can't throw theories in there with that. We might like to say that if a bitch can't fight, that don't give her the right to talk shit. But we don't live in a world where that exists. Unfortunately. And who the fuck is to think that they scary? Most people that think they tough, they don't find out they not as tough as they are until somebody proved them different. And ain't nobody gonna give nobody no grace over them far as being tougher than them. Cause nigga, who out here really saying, oh yeah, she tougher than me? And just so happen, if it happens, my child will come first. It's either leave or call 911 because I'm afraid not snatch somebody's life. How you know she wasn't afraid for her and her child life? That's us putting ourselves in that situation. That's a theory. That's you saying what you would do. And that's okay. That's what I'm telling people. If that's what you would have been or that's what you would have done, that is okay. But that don't mean that that's what another person would do, baby. And because another person don't choose to make the same decision as you, does that mean that they are wrong? Nigga, I'm not letting no bitch beat me up while I got my baby with me. I'm not letting nobody beat me up while I got my baby with me. Are we crazy here? Are we crazy here? We don't know what was the prevention to leave. from different theories, there's different stories. Holly was on the sidewalk. This person was in the back. She was in the back putting the baby in the car seat. It's a lot of different theories. And it's a lot of things that we can say that we would have done and what another person shouldn't have done. But that don't mean that that's the way that things go. We can always say a person is wrong for the decision that they made, but that was their decision. That don't mean that what happened actually happened. We don't know if Holly was on the sidewalk or if this person, we don't know for real if there was a fight or altercation. Some say that she was fighting with Los. Some say she was fighting with Holly. So there's a lot of different theories. But the theory that we are creating is crazy because it's not fact. If I'm going to say something that is fact, is I wish that young lady never lost her life in the first place. I wish they never had a discrepancy. I wish she would have kept going. I wish people don't have to feel like they have a point to prove, like they can discipline another adult. Even if you don't like what I say, that don't mean that you physically should be able to spank me for saying it. They was both calling each other bum bitches and this, that, and it was on both sides. So basically, if that was the case, it was provoking in both areas. Because if this person say something and this person respond, and then this person say something and then this person respond, that's something that's ongoing between the two, not something that's being done just by one. You understand? She wasn't scared to speak, obviously. But I've heard bitches that say they too pretty to fight. That don't stop them from talking shit. I ain't fighting nobody. I've heard people say those words out of their mouth. But that don't mean that don't stop them from speaking. Right? Poor decision and nobody thought of neither child. Right? That's what I'm talking about, suburban girl. That is the part that crushes my heart right there. The two kids in this situation, their lives will never be the same. Now that's I would never. Okay? I would never want two kids to end up in a situation where they don't know what their future is or if they're going to have parents. One has lost a parent. I would never want to put a child in that situation. It is true. But in a situation when it comes like this, everybody loses. Everybody loses. I wouldn't let anyone beat me up if I had a baby. I also wouldn't have put my baby in a situation I know is volatile. If I have a protection order, I'm not going to a school. Everybody's saying that because they sticking to the rules. I'm gonna be honest, Brandy Davis. How many people done got their baby father locked up and still fucked on him after that? They wasn't supposed to be there. They wasn't supposed to be around this person. And they might have had a protective order against him, but they still went against the protective order and still had contact with the same person that they put papers on. The children suffer in this situation. Everybody focused on what the grown people was doing, but not realizing what the kids is losing. Everything. Neither one of these kids get the healthy workup of a family dynamic no more. Because even once justice is served, Romeca is still not here for her baby. And people that's in this situation is still made to live in fear. And the reason why I said that, because sometimes having an opinion or unpopular opinion, people don't take things as just people opinion. Some people go off of what it actually is as a fact. So people want to, like, you don't think that this situation is dangerous? People got family members that don't play both ways. I know if my family knew that something happened to me, people gonna have to walk on eggshells, baby. It's how other people choose to deal with a situation, and unfortunately, people deal with things differently. So now, because I mean, just being honest, I wasn't in front of the school, I was at my car. I wasn't at the school. It's not like I was waiting for a person at the school. I was leaving my baby's father house from what they said, and the girl had been there from 3 days. They said the girl had on the same clothes for 3 days. So that means she didn't just get there, she been there. And unfortunately, even though if a person is on that side, it ain't no way that they not gonna be able to avoid a person, baby. Or we was gonna say, yeah, well, he should have took her to a hotel, or he should have went to her house. How we know he allowed at her house? How we know niggas had money for a hotel? Yeah, we could see that niggas got a little bit of money, but that don't mean that they got it or had it. That you don't know what people's situation is. They could say, oh, well, because Los knew that she had a order of protection against Romeca, he shouldn't have never had her at his house. Maybe he shouldn't have, but unfortunately he did. If that's the case, he shouldn't have never been fucking with the two women at the same time from the beginning. And maybe all of this shit could have been avoided, because you can't be out here playing with people's heart. Okay? And having the title ladies man mean that that's exactly what you doing, friend. Because I didn't say lady man, I said ladies man. That ends with a S. That means there's multiples, yes. But women got to be willing to stop fighting over these niggas. That's only going to go get another bitch. Is it worth it? Like, is it worth it? They went and did all of that with each other over somebody. And now look at the outcome of what it is. The shit is ridiculous. White Chocolate said the order was given to Holly of under default. All parties involved in situation have a responsibility. It's never that serious, in my opinion. Right, LaRonda. Everybody got a responsibility. And it's to think like a responsible adult. And once you think like an irrational adult, then you threw all your responsibility out the window. Out the window. How her trying to leave and by putting the baby in the car is in harm's way. She didn't know a fight was going to occur. Who can predict that? Nobody. That's why I say some things happen by coincidence. It didn't have to be the fact is that it was even planned. It's just that when you got to remember, when you see people in person, you got to keep that same energy. Everybody is just not, how can I say, keyboard gangsters. Some people actually stand on their shit, and it's just unfortunate. He was single, he was wrong, he was dirty and found, but he can have whoever he wants at his house, especially his child's mother. Right. Is the shoe was on the other foot, would y'all be saying the same thing? I've been asking the same question, Brown Sugar. If Romeca actually hopped out her car that day and she actually did what she set out to do, if people saying that she got out the car on smoke, because she didn't get out the car in a positive way. When she did see both of them, baby, she got out with the intentions to fight. Whether she was fighting him or whether she was fighting her, the outcome ended tragic. And in my mind, I'm just thinking like, damn, Romeca, why the fuck you couldn't just keep going, bro? And say fuck both of them. Fuck him and fuck her, son. Like, why you couldn't just keep going? Sometimes our ego be so big and we be having shit to prove, when moving on is the best thing to do. And to keep going would have been moving the fuck on from both of them. From both of them. So yes, I have been saying, and I'm just being honest. We don't know what took place, but I swear I wish in this case, when Romeca seen them, when she made that U-turn, if they did not block the road, she should have rolled past them, rolled her window down, gave them the motherfucking middle finger, and beat the horn and kept fucking pushing. Like, fuck y'all. Fuck you and fuck him. Keeping it moving. I wish she wouldn't have even gave them her energy. Seriously. I really wish she wouldn't have even gave them her energy. Because if she never gave them her energy, then would we possibly not be here? I wish her son was picked and the baby on the scene in that car was picked. Because all this shit is fucked up from beginning to end, regardless to how the coin would have fell, heads or tails. It wouldn't have been ending well. Somebody would have still been ending up hurt. I notice in this case, when somebody doesn't agree, that's like something is damn that they do, damned if they don't. They can never do anything right in that person's eyes. And people would say anything that goes against her. Right. What would have been the right course of action? Getting out and getting into an all-out street fight while your baby in the car? Tay, I agree with you. It's unfortunate and sad. Right. Because even if she would have got her ass beat, her baby was still on the scene in that back seat. So that still wouldn't have been a good thing. So I'm gonna be fighting in the street while my baby is in the car in the back seat. If that ain't irresponsible, I don't know what is. And sometimes people got to remember, if I got a GUN, it's so I ain't got to fight, friend. And if I feel in danger, how's somebody gonna tell me when I'm supposed to feel in danger? Just because you didn't feel in danger at the moment, damn sure don't mean that I don't. We two different fucking people. So maybe you would have been able to take a little bit more heat than me. But if I'm scary, as people say, I can't take no heat, no way. Regardless to whether I'm talking or not talking, the bottom line is the situation is fucked up. And outside of it being fucked up for the adults, I feel for the kids. I feel for the kids. That baby was on that scene when his mama used the gun. You don't know what type of PTSD people got from this fucking situation. Everything is an assumption. She left that scene without her baby as well. It's just crazy as hell. But anyway, your girl Tay Tay is definitely about to get up off here, baby. I definitely appreciate everybody for supporting me this morning. And hopefully other people and everybody understand I was having a non-judgmental conversation. So I appreciate all of those that was engaging. For sure, for sure, for sure. Make sure you drink your water for the day. And like I said, if nobody told you they love you today, Tay Tay definitely do. If we woke up this morning, let any and everything be an extra to you. I did my mental check-in with my community friend. So whoever wasn't a one when they came in, hopefully you're a one when you leaving, baby. Love is love. And your girl Tay Tay is out.
La 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 lattes were a la 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 lattes were a